Doctor, I would love for us to just lighten the mood a little bit, sit back and get to know you a little bit better. All right. I'm going to ask you a few quick fire questions, and I would like for you to answer these questions as quickly as possible, straight to the point. You don't have to move around too much. We just want to get to know you a little bit better, and we want to pick your brain a little bit as well. Let's start here. You mentioned earlier that you were actually involved in softball as well as baseball. What other sports did you play when you were growing up?
I tried to play cricket. It didn't work. I remember at some point I was a substitute during a football ladies team in high school. And yeah, okay. What else? I attempted boxing. Netball, it also didn't work because I just struggled with understanding the rules. So I've tried several sporting codes.
All right, absolutely beautiful. Now let's go back to like your younger days, like completely your younger days. How did you actually like pursue the career in terms of like sports psychology? Like, were you like motivated by somebody? I know that you said that you read the article, but then what gave you that nudge to say that this is the thing that I want to do? Was there maybe like somebody who inspired you to say, go for this?
It strongly comes from me being a sports person. The passion I have for sports, I think that's the one that said, okay, I'd also want to play a fair share in the sports health, particularly in sports psychology, so that I can promote mental health. So it's just my passion for sports for sports generally, and of course, growing up in a township that really embraced sports and the support I got from home.
All right. And did you maybe want to do something else? I know that many of us, when we grow up, we want to be doctors, we want to be policemen, we want to be firemen because we see them on TV. Is there anything else that you were thinking when you were growing up?
No. I just dreamt of me being a sports psychologist, doing well in sports psychology, and ultimately becoming a professor in the same field.
Oh, wow. Absolutely beautiful. I would love for you to now name 3 international softball players.
Okay, I know we have 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗶𝗹, who's from here in South Africa, from ZB. We also have 𝗀𝗙cie𝗰𝗶. She's a female softball player. And also, so I'm going to name all of them that are playing for South Africa because yeah. And also we've got 𝗀𝗻𝗋 Frost, who's also a male softball player.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. It seems that you know your softball quite well, hey, since you're involved with the team, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, you talk about the field of sports psychology. Is there any sports psychologist that you possibly look up to and draw some inspiration from?
Oh, it's a very interesting question. I work closely with Professor Leon van Niekerk. He's a professor at the University of Fort Hare. I always refer to him as an academic father, because he is the one who supervised my my PhD thesis. So having worked with him along that, and after we're still working together because we do co-supervision and a lot of research together, I think I would say that he's somebody who inspires me, particularly because of his passion, work ethic, and how he relates with his students. I always tell him that I'm taking a lot of skills, so that I will also become a better supervisor and a practitioner to my athletes.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. Just the last question in terms of the quick fire questions. I would love to know, we hear this so often and we hear these terms being thrown around. Every single article has their own different writing up of these particular subject matters. But what exactly is the difference between sports psychology and therapy? Okay,
therapy, it's a process, it's a treatment. Okay, let me just term it in this way. Therapy in psychology. Therapy, it is a form of treatment that when you're seeing a psychologist, they're saying you're going through a therapy process. So within the sports psychology, there's also a therapy. For instance, if I am seeing athlete A, I'll be seeing them for therapy. Let's say we're addressing sports psychology related issues. So it's a therapeutic process. It's a treatment in psychology, we refer to.
You're locked onto the Sport MVT Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. Coming up this Friday, our athletes, coaches, and administrators answer the questions that you have always wondered about. If you haven't sent through your questions yet, just slide into our DMs, tell us your name, where you're from, and leave your questions, and we will make sure that we ask them. Keep it locked onto Sport MVT, where we celebrate women in sport.